Welcome to Agent Unstuck Calls, where we talk to real estate agents who are experiencing a challenge in their real estate career and they're looking for an alternative solution. Hi, I'm your host, Mike Cerrone with MastermindAgent.com, and I'm excited about this episode, so let's go ahead and jump right in. I'm glad that you joined us today. I'm excited to talk with you. So please tell us, what is your problem and how can I help you today with your real estate practice?
I think I probably answer my own questions a lot of times, but I think a lot of it is I know my consistency in being sidetracked some. I guess, so many different things going on that every time I get headed geared up towards the real estate part, then I get a setback. So that's where I'm working at from now. Seems like since I've gotten into the business, it's been like almost every year, just about the time that I'm thinking, okay, I'll be able to get everything set up and get the business running, I get a setback or something happens. So I'm trying to be able to work around the setbacks. I know I have my mom, take care of my mom. She's elderly. So that's my big thing. So I'm trying to work around that and I guess find the best way to fit that into what I do. Because I want to be able to do it so that I can have the freedom to, be able to keep an eye on her and get her to her appointments and things like that. So that's what I'm working towards now, is to be able to, gear myself to set up in the discipline and stay consistent. And I guess keep my confidence, because I have, I lost a few deals, and sometimes you don't know why. So it's kind of like, well, what am I doing wrong, or what am I missing?
Okay. Well, let's break some of that out. Tell me, how long have you been in real estate?
Coming up on 3 years.
3 years.
August will be 3 years. Well, I've been selling. I've invested since about 2007. I have 3 rentals.
Cool. That's good. That's fantastic. All right. So you've been around the real estate industry. You got your license about 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Are you practicing full-time or part-time? Is this your full-time gig, or are you doing this on the side? What's going on?
Full-time.
Okay. Full-time.
Well, I'm trying to make it full.
Okay.
Like I said, with the side things that pop up and things like that, it kind of takes it back. And sometimes it's almost like I get started and I got to start fresh.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And in the 3 years, how many transactions have you closed? What kind of production have you had?
Last year I did 5. This year, 1, and I just lost. I lost 1, and another one was one that I was working on, but I didn't get. And I got a couple in my pipeline that I'm currently working on.
How are you generating your business right now? How's it coming in?
Through my company leads. Well, most of mine have been more Spear or people that I've picked up just in random, out prospecting or talking to them, and they'll say, "Oh, I was thinking about buying a house." So a lot of it's been my own. A few of the company leads seem to be more from the renters. I get a lot of renters from them, from that side, but I think that's more of a time waster of my time sometimes, because I have to learn when to let them go when they're not consistent or don't want to respond back to me saying, yes, I'm interested in it, I'm not. So I'm learning to get rid of them when they're not responding.
Sure. So qualifying them and quantifying whether they're going to be a good lead to keep working with or not?
Right. Even as a renter, I mean, we don't do property management where I'm at, but if I pick up a renter in as a lead, I try to help them out since they came in to be helped.
And when you help them out, are you helping them to buy a place or to rent a place? Are you working in the rental?
Normally it's to rent. Right now it's been, excuse me.
Sure.
Let me turn this off. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about it.
That's all right. So are you helping them on the rental side or the purchase side?
The renter, if I can get them qualified to purchase, I do that. I've had one that qualified, but they still end up renting. I've seen a few.
And do you get paid the rental fee? Are you helping them find rentals?
Yes.
Okay, so you're working both sides of the business. You're working as the real estate agent to help resell, to purchase a property, but you're also helping folks when they want to rent to help them rent. You're locating a rental for them.
Yes.
Okay, good. So it's okay that you're getting these rental leads. You're able to help them one way or the other. You said your company, are you working on a team or is it just that your company is handing out these leads?
Solo. They just come through and they hand them out.
Good. All right. So let's walk through a couple more of these things. So when I was listening to you, it sounds like you're trying to get your focus on the real estate side. Now, you closed 5 units last year. That's pretty good. Of course, the national average is 4, so you're slightly above that. So you should feel good about that. You're on track there. What is your goal for your income or number of closings?
Well, for this year, I really went out. I was going for 50. And like I said, as I got geared up, then I had a couple setbacks. And because my mom, she ended up in the hospital. Then I think I ended up in the hospital. So there's been a few obstacles here and there. And I try not to use those as excuses. So I just say, okay, I just keep moving, keep going forward and pick up where I was. So.
Well, you have to take care of mom when that comes down the pipe. I get that. That's a requirement.
Yes.
That's an absolute. And what we need to do is figure out how to work around that with your schedule, right?
Right, and that's what I'm trying to. That's what I say. I wanted. If I don't like calling people too early in the morning or too late, so I'm trying to get a happy medium in there to where I say, okay, I call this many a day, and then try to set up my email in my correspondence like that during the late hours or early morning to where it'll go out and it's not really a disturbance. They'll pull it up in their email and be able to get it. But I guess I try to look at what I like as far as somebody selling or trying to prospect me. I don't want anybody calling me after 8 or 9 o'clock or too early. You say, sometimes I think 8 o'clock may be too early. And I said, well, do I want to? But then I said, well, I'm in business. So you need to, you got to figure it out.
Sure. So what have you come down to? What times are you comfortable calling?
I normally start about 9. I'll try from 9 until maybe as late as 7 or 8. Now, if it's somebody that I've spoken to and they give me a time to call them back that's later or something or earlier, I can work with that. But as far as prospecting, I try not to do it. I guess when I look at family time or if
and I think you've got a reasonable time frame from 9 to 7. Sounds very reasonable to most people. Let's go back to your goal of 50 units. It was 50 closings, right? 50 units or 50,000? 50 units? 50
units.
Yeah. And so this is a good example. We're coming up on the middle of the year. You've closed 1. You have 1 fallout. You got another one coming in, and you've got to feel pretty demoralized that you're not going to hit your 50, right?
Yes.
It looks like it's not going to happen. And so what you got to do is you got to reset.
Yeah.
You got to reset. Well, it's not just you, it's everybody. We get into this problem where we think that we got a goal for a year and, we're logical. We see that we're not going to make it. And then we have two choices, either try to, now we're going to double up, or now I need to just not do anything because I'm not going to hit my goal, right? It becomes tough emotionally. And so what I challenge you to do is to reset a goal, not per year, but try to set a monthly goal.
That's what I started. I said, well, if I can do 2 a month and, if I get 4 or 5, then that's good. But at least if I get 2, it puts me out there and make me have to work for 2 people instead of trying to crowd in, too much and then not being discouraged or something like that.
What is your average commission in dollars when you bring them in?
About about 7,000 maybe. About
7,000? Great. And so you got 7,000 average commission. If you close 2, it's 14,000 a month. Is that enough to achieve your goals?
Yes. And that would put it at about 50, almost 50 a year. 2 a month. Well, no, 4 a month would put it 50, but.
Yeah, there you go. Right. And so if you hit your 2, you're doing pretty good, right? You're hitting 14. I don't know, what is that in per year? It's got to be pretty good.
About 75,000, I think. Because I think if I did
168,000 a year, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just saying, if you start looking at that monthly, it's easy because the clock resets every 30 days, right?
Yes.
And then you don't have, and then you just add the months up. You're building the blocks rather than looking at the big picture and you don't see it coming together and saying, well, it's not going to happen this year. I'll just wait till next year. A lot of people do that. So instead, just look at that 30-day block. I hit it this month, or I didn't, or I beat it. Maybe I closed 3, or maybe I closed 2, whatever. You got this goal now, 2. And it's also a smaller number, so it's easier to get your mind to believe I can achieve it. Okay, so you always want to try to break it down. It's basically what, every 2 weeks. Okay, you're like, well, I could find somebody every 14 days. I can do this thing.
Yeah.
So maybe a reset on that goal and perspective is going to help. What else can we do? Okay, so the other thing is, you've mentioned that your business that's come in, a lot of it's been through your contacts, your sphere of influence. Have you made a list of your sphere of influence?
I have started and stopped and started and stopped.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any idea? Can you just guess how many people that you might know? Have you thought about
it? Quite a few. Quite a few.
Guess, like 10, 100, 3 million? How many?
Yeah. I could probably, let's say 150 off the top of my head.
I think that's a good number. The reason I say it's a good number is they've done studies, and most people know 150 to 250 people in their sphere. They just don't realize it till they actually go list it out. You don't know, you don't recognize that you know that many people. So I think that's going to be your key in to make this work. So let's say you got 150 people. If you get a good PCSOI program, a past client sphere of influence, you don't have a lot of past clients yet, but we'll call it the PCSOI. You certainly add the people you've helped, because they're going to be great referral sources and references for you to remember that you can do this. So we'll say that number is probably what, 5 to 10 something, and you got this 150. Let's stay focused on that. If you get a PCSI program going, PCSOI, and you just do the basic work on it, you're consistent, but you just do the base work, you should get about 5% of that list in closings each year. So that would be about 7.5, almost 7 to 8 closings a year just from that, if you're just working the basics on it. And that right there is more than you did last year. Yeah, I call it the PCSOI, past clients and sphere of influence.
Okay.
These are basically your friends, family, acquaintances, and your past clients. And I've been coining this term PCSOI because it just gets it all together right there. Past clients and sphere of influence. and I combine them in the same group. It's basically repeating referrals. Some people will call it referrals or repeating referrals. Let's stay on that for a second. If you get 5%, you got 7 to 8 closings. But a lot of agents, if they start working this properly, they should easily get up to 10% of the list, sending them repeating referrals. Okay. And if you got 10% of the list, now we're talking 15 closings a year. That's not bad at all. And if you really learn how to do PCSOI well, the top agents in the nation, the ones that are really hitting it out of the park, they're getting as high as 20% repeating referral. Just talked to a lady last week doing it, and they can make that happen. If you were to do 20% just with your list you have now, that's 30 closings. That's pretty good. So that's already beyond your goal. Now, I don't think you're going to hit 20%. I think it's going to be somewhere between the 5 and 10. And so somewhere between 7 and 15 closings a year just out of your PCSOI, which is upwards of 3 times what you did last year. Make sense? And that's a nice base for all the other work. Okay. And I'll give you some more information because I like throwing numbers around. You got 15 closings. If you were able to hit that at that pace, times your $7,000 commission, what are we looking at? I think you're in the 6-figure club. Yeah, it's 105,000 in GCI. How would that be?
That's about what I was shooting for, around about 150 GCSI.
Yeah, so we're getting close there. I think that's going to be your key for your starting point, is that you want to build out this database, and then from there you can start looking at other things. It's going to give you some drive too. Now, you've mentioned you've tried to create this list a couple times, and then it's not happened. Why? Why have you not been able to complete the list?
Well, I didn't transfer it over for one, and I lost all my contacts in my phone.
Okay, so you had started to build things, and then you lost a phone and you lost your database.
Yeah.
That does stink. That's tough.
I have some in my computer, and that's where I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do them through my company's CRM
yeah,
or kind of build something off on my own where I would keep it, I guess, in case I ever left. I guess if you leave a company, you want to make sure you got your database.
You definitely want it. You want it. That's your goal. That is, once you get that under control, that's going to feed you for your whole life, that database.
Right.
The top agents in the nation, that's their number one source of business for a reason. The top agents with huge teams, they're still getting 40 to 60% of their business out of the database. And if you go to a top performing solo agent, someone closing between 50 and 100 units all by themselves, now that percentage is up to 90% coming out of their PCSOI. So it's really critical to get this database up and going, and then feed it, grow it, keep building relationships in it.
Right.
So as far as your CRM, whether you want to do it with your company or not, I understand that's an interesting question. Whatever it is, if you do it with the company, make sure you're doing backups.
Okay.
Right, quarterly backups because most of these systems you can download out. In fact, if I were you, what I would do is I'd put a couple names in and then see if you could download it back out. You know what I mean? Before you built the whole thing out, just to convince yourself it's okay. The other thing you can do is build it out on a spreadsheet so you have it. And the other thing you can do is just build it out on paper so you have it no matter what. And even if the technology fails again or you lose it, you'll have it in a notebook somewhere.
Right.
And when you download it, you can download it into electronic and save it somewhere. You can also print it out and have it in a data and have it manual so you can rebuild it if you have to. It's a great lesson. I'm really glad you're bringing this up. Either way, this is easy. I've got an assignment for you. I like to give everybody an assignment by the time we get to the end of the call. And yours is pretty easy because I think you've got a clear path to win. And that is, you need to build out that list. And I recognize it may be a challenge. You're going to have to do some research, but I'm telling you, it's the best way for you to move forward and to get some traction. So build out that list. You can put it on paper. You can put it into the CRM of the company. You can do it on a spreadsheet, whatever it takes, doesn't matter. All the top people have different methods. A lot of them actually have it just on paper. That's okay. Whatever works for you. But I need you to get a list. And since you're starting from scratch, the way to start is a brainstorming session. Just list out the names. Don't try to get all the contact information at first. Just get the names. So think of, I know my mom, because you mentioned her. So your mom and dad and your brothers and sisters and your cousins. And, you start going all on out into the family. You go on to the friends. You go into the acquaintances and just list all the names, all the names. And you're going to be surprised how many people you know. Do you have a significant other? Are you married?
Wife.
Okay, great. So your wife, you can use her sphere too. That's why I bring it up. People forget that sometimes. Their sphere.
Yeah, well, I do. I've gotten a few references from her.
Exactly. Because you guys are connected in most people's minds. So you want to ask your wife to help you go through and build out her sphere, because there'll be overlap, but there'll be some people she knows that you don't have on your list. You want to add them in and build that list. That's acquaintance list.
I use it for my advertisement. Put the signs on the side of the car.
There you go. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be your assignment, is to build out your list. And my question to you is, when do you think you could get that done by?
Let's say 2 weeks.
2 weeks. You give me the day that it would be done by.
Okay.
Give me a day and a date.
Actually, can we do 3 weeks?
You bet. You pick the day and the time. This is your project.
July 8th.
July 8th? And what time would it be done on July
8th? 5 p.m.
5 p.m. Fantastic. And when you get that done on July 8th, 5 p.m., I want you to send me an email and tell me that A, you got it done, and B, how many people you listed out.
Okay.
That's your accountability part.
Yeah. Now, remember, I got a few appointments in there.
I know, but you got to be driven. You got to have a deadline. You got to be wanting to get this done. I'm telling you, this is going to be the key to your success. It's getting this list put together. It's the easiest kind of business for you to do. It's the best kind of business. It's the most profitable. It's where everybody should start to build their base. And a lot of agents wait. They wait 5-10 years to do this, and it's a huge mistake. They tell me all the time, looking backwards, I wish I would have started earlier. So we're going to get you going right away and get this list started, okay?
I looked at this and played with it, like I said before. Even when we were in school, we did it. And it always stuck in my head, okay, I need to go back and build that up. So yeah, thank you.
You betcha. Yeah, let's build that list. Let's get it done. You're going to feel so much better when it's out there and it's done and it's written down. And then we'll, next step, put it in the database and whatever, and start to get a plan put around it and make this thing happen. The biggest, toughest hurdle for most people is to get the list done. So get this list done, and be confident that once I get this list done, everything else is going to fall into place. Right?
Right.
When you start on a long journey, you got to take that first big step, and that gets you going in the right direction. And this is the big step for you to get you going in the right direction. Well, I'm looking forward to hearing back from you on this assignment. Was this helpful today?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's it for Agent Unstuck calls. It was a lot of fun today. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and click that like button. And if you want to hear more calls like this, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know exactly when the next episode is coming out. And if you have any thoughts about what you heard today and you'd like to relay that to everyone else, go ahead and put that down in the comments section so people can talk about it. And finally, if you're stuck in your real estate career, you're a veteran who's having some challenges and you can't figure out how to get to that next step, go ahead and schedule yourself an Unstuck call. Just go to agentunstuckcall.com. That's agentunstuckcall.com, and let's get you scheduled in. You'll go in there, you'll fill out a quick survey, you'll find a time that works for you, and we'll get on a call just like this and see if we can't get you some answers. All right, this has been a lot of fun. I'm your host, Mike Cerrone with Mastermind Agent, and again, thank you for joining us on Agent Unstuck Calls. Take care.